hello to you. I am ASMR Wettel, or Weetle, if you will, whatever you want to call me. And today I'm going to talk about my country's National Day. I'm from Norway, as some of you already know. But if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel, by the way. I'm from Norway, I'm Norwegian, and in just a few days my country will celebrate its yearly National Day, or the 211th anniversary of our constitution. So the 17th of May, Norwegians will celebrate Norway and their nation. And I'm going to talk about Norway's National Day, its history, why we celebrate it, stuff like that today. So I'm going to begin with bringing forward the Norwegian flag now. Is that okay for you guys? By the way, I hope you all had a great week, and I hope your week's going good, and I hope you will just enjoy this video about me just talking about my country now. How are you, by the way? You're good? I hope you're good. Hope you're doing good. Okay, let's get to the flag. So, this is Norway's flag. Oh, I feel so, yeah, I feel proud when I see it. Yeah, I love being Norwegian. I love Norway. I love my country, actually. So yeah, this is my country's flag, the Norwegian flag. I'm waving with it, apologies. You know, so there are lots of these flags on Norwegian National Day, on balconies, on things like this, you know. There are many people waving these flags on the 17th of May, these smaller flags, or putting bigger flags, Norwegian flags, up on their balconies, you know. And yeah, and on the television there is singing of the Norwegian national anthems, you know, stuff like that. But I'm going to get more into what happens on Norwegian National Day in a moment. I'm just going to show you this flag first. So this is the colors of the Norwegian flag. White, blue and red. That is the colors of the Norwegian flag. And by the way, on a side note but related, I'm going to just show you, because a lot of you who follow my videos know I love sweets and chocolate. I'm going to show you the Norwegian traditional standard milk chocolate. You know, the most famous milk chocolate in all of Norway. This is Freia milk chocolate, and this is like the most famous milk chocolate in all of Norway. Maybe the most famous chocolate in Norway too. It is sort of the very chocolate which defines being Norwegian in a way, if you're a chocolate lover anyway. So you can see here there are some traditional motifs here of cows, which is also cows is a very central motif, part of Norwegian culture. And you have milk chocolate, you can see here. Yeah, you know, Norway is often associated with lots of countrysides and cows, and that's why cows are a big part of our history, traditions and stuff like that. And because of that, Norwegian milk chocolate is also a big part of Norwegian culture and tradition. So this is standard milk chocolate plate. It's very good milk chocolate too, at least I think. Anyway, but now let's get into the National Day itself. The National Day itself. What do we Norwegians do on our National Day? Well, we celebrate, of course. That much is obvious. But every 17th of May, children from all across the country, from various schools across the country, children from the age of like 6 to the age of 15, so children and teens essentially, young teens, go in parades. In Norway we do not have any military parade or stuff like that. Instead we have children's parades all across the country, which children from schools and across the country participate in. And when I was a child, I also participated in these parades. And the children then are guided by their teachers and the staffs at school and parade around in their towns and cities. And I'm just going to get the flag again. and wave the Norwegian flag like this and sing national anthems while proud parents, look, are onlookers. And these parades are of course broadcasted on television, especially the parade in Oslo, or capital. Or you can, because there is a parade in every town and city in Norway National Day, or you can just, if you live in a Norwegian town or city, you can just go outside and see the parades, yeah. And the children ran parade with the teachers and the staff of schools, singing national anthems, having fun. And I participated in these parades a lot of times when I was a child. And those are fond memories of me, actually. Those are fond memories. I do not regret doing that. You're not forced to do it, but I believe most people who live and who are born and raised in Norway, or who come to Norway for that matter, choose to participate. But it's not obligatory. You don't have to participate. No. So it's a big event during Norwegian National Day. Yeah. While we do not have any military parade, the King's Royal Guard will have a sort of demonstration in capital on National Day. They often have a sort of this demonstration, not exactly a parade, but sort of this kind of march and demonstration on Norwegian National Day. I'm not sure exactly when that is going on, if it's around the same time as the children parades, or a little after. I believe it may be a little bit after, actually, but they also have a demonstration which is broadcasted on their televisions. So yeah. Okay. And when the parades are done, families with children especially will maybe go for a walk around the towns and cities trying to find ice cream. And then afterwards the various families will assemble privately and eat dinner, and this can vary from family to family, but in the case of my family it is often hot dogs, or sausages, hot dogs, and cakes. So and sometimes some families also eat pizza in the evening. My family used to do that many years ago, but we haven't carried on that particular tradition because it's a little much with all the other food that day. And I too actually try to eat some ice cream on the 17th of May. So it's a day of celebration, essentially. Yeah. And some people also go to the amusement parks on National Day, because there are amusement parks across the country on National Day. So that's also sometimes a part of the tradition. And there are snacks on National Day. There are snacks, which is also a part of National Day. So it's a day filled with joy and celebration. I often watch the television broadcasts. I haven't been in recent years, I haven't been to the town or city that much, but I watch the television broadcast. I spend time with my family, I eat good food, snacks, ice cream, and and I also go around the house for fun, just waving a little bit of flag, because I just get in a joyous mood, I like seeing all the joy and happiness on that. Anyway, so that's essentially what happens on Norwegian National Day. But let's get into the history of why we Norwegians celebrate National Day. Just going to get a book now. So this book is from Norwegian author Karsten Alnes. I believe this book only exists in Norwegian. So apologies, sorry to you English-speaking people out there, but I don't believe there is any English edition of this book. I'm just going to say that right away. Karsten Alnes has written the book 1814, Miraklenes år, it says in Norwegian, and in English that means the year of miracles. And now we get into the gist of why we Norwegians celebrate the 17th of May, because it all has to do with this year, 1840. By the way, I'm going to tap a little on the book, seeing as this is an ASMR. Oh, and by the way, if there are any Norwegian viewers watching this video, I'm going to do a Norwegian 17th of May greeting around the 17th of May. So I will come a Norwegian 17th of May video too. Don't worry. Okay, so yeah. So in 1814 a lot happened, and now I'm just going to put the book away and I'm going to explain it all. So as I'm sure some of you who are interested in history, like me, are aware, in the early 19th century it was an intense time in Europe. There was a lot of war in Europe. It was the time of the Napoleonic Wars. And Denmark and ever since the 14th century, Denmark had ruled Norway. Norway was under Danish rule. And we had very little to no independence. But in the early 19th century, in 1814, everything changed. Denmark was allied with Napoleon, with Napoleon's France. And because of that, seeing as Norway was under Danish rule, Norway had to join the war too. And Britain, England, enforced a blockade which caused very difficult times in Norway. But ultimately, eventually, France lost the war, which I'm sure many of you are aware. Napoleon lost the war, and because of that, Denmark had to give Norway to Sweden, because Sweden was on the winning side. And this was around 1814, and it was because of this event that Norway got free from Danish rule. So Norway was given to Sweden, but before Sweden took control of Norway, there was an interim era between the Danish rule and the new union with Sweden, where the Norwegians seized on this historic opportunity. They used this historic opportunity to assemble on Eidsvoll in 1814, in May 1814, to agree on the Norwegian constitution and to try and declare Norwegian independence. And they even actually selected an old king for Norway, Christian Frederick. But ultimately, Sweden didn't entirely accept Norway's full independence. So essentially, Karl Johan, who would become the king of Sweden, sent forces to Norway around late summer, early autumn 1814 to force Norway into a union with Sweden. And that union became the case. But Norway still got to keep aspects of its constitution, and although we were forced into a union with Sweden, we were nonetheless much freer in that union than we had been under Danish rule. So Norway was now one step closer to independence, and the constitution was signed on the 17th of May 1840. And that's why we Norwegians essentially celebrate the 17th of May. We celebrate the signing of our constitution. The union with Sweden lasted for almost a century, but it was dissolved in 1905. And thankfully it came through peaceful means. In the years leading up to 1905, there was concern that war will break out between Sweden and Norway, because Sweden wasn't entirely fond of Norway proclaiming full independence, but it was resolved peacefully. and in 1905 Norway became fully independent and got its own king. And our current king, King Harald, is the grandson of that king, that first king, King Håkon he was called. So Norway was free again. And ever since 1905, Norway has been mostly free, with the exception of during Second World War. We were not free during 1940 to 1945 because Nazi Germany invaded us and installed the fascist party as the new government. Thankfully, Norway was liberated from the occupiers, and in 1945 Norway was free again. So this year, 2025, actually marks 80 years of freedom for Norway. But anyway, that's a different story entirely. But essentially, now you get why we Norwegians celebrate National Day. We celebrate becoming free, independent, and getting our own constitution. We celebrate becoming our own nation, our own people, and we celebrate not being under Danish rule, not being in a forced union with Sweden. We celebrate being free and independent. And that's actually a big part of Norwegian culture. Norwegians love being independent. They love independence. So, and that's of course because of Norwegians' past history. We were so often ruled by people in the past that the concept and aspect of independence is very important to us. So important that actually, this is a little fun side fact, that when the Germans invaded the country in 1940, they kind of expected that Norwegians would be friendly to them, and the soldiers tried to be friendly, but the people of Norway, a lot of them anyway, okay, there were some people who collaborated with the Nazis, but most people of Norway were not friendly to the occupiers. Some of them even refused to speak to the soldiers. And that's because Norwegians will never be friendly to people who occupy the country. Norwegians are very, very proud of their freedom and independence. But anyway, enough about that. So that's why we celebrate National Day and the 17th of May. And I'm proud to be a Norwegian, and I love Norway, and love the valleys, the nature, the forests, everything. So anyway, but today was just a little talk about Norwegian culture and a little history and stuff like that. And National Day. So I hope you enjoyed just listening to me rambling on about this. I hope it wasn't too much. I hope you all have a blessed divine week and great day. And for those of you who are in Norway, whether you are Norwegians or not, hope you enjoy and have a joyous 17th of May. All the best. Thank you.